Good morning, guys. Some exciting news today. Not really any exciting news. We have one task for the day. Actually, we have like 4 or 5 tasks for the day. We have one main task for the day. And that is, in this vlog, we are going to practice in-camera transitions. I also got to go to the gym, and then I got a live stream later tonight. Also, my wife's brother and sister-in-law are in from India because of her dad being in the ER, which I had mentioned a couple vlogs ago. So we might have to do something with them. So day's kind of up in the air. But for the vlog, the goal for today is to learn in-camera transitions for B-roll and stuff. So there is a big tutorial that Jesse, if you don't know him, maybe I'll link his channel down in the description below of this video. But he's a semi-popular YouTuber, an up-and-coming YouTuber. And he did like a masterclass video on how to do camera transitions and stuff. So we're going to watch that like 4 or 5 times. There was also one that Cody Wanner put out. We're going to watch that a couple times. Kind of get it in the brain what we got to do the in-camera transitions. Eat some breakfast. And then after that, we are going to head out somewhere or do something to where we can practice these transitions. All right, let's go. All right, guys, we're finished eating breakfast. We watched Jesse Driftwood's video like 3 or 4 times. So now we're gonna get out and try some in-camera transitions. This is like the first time I've ever done this. So if the sequences end up being horrible today, I apologize in advance. And I thank you for sticking through this video with me as I'm learning something new. So, we are going to head to a local state park called Nelson Ledges. A lot of the colors there will be the same, which will help make it easier since I'm learning transitions. Also, it's an excuse just to get me out of the house because it's supposed to be like 55, almost 60 degrees today. And yeah, so let's throw on the coat and head to the park. And we're officially starting transitions. Whew. Alright guys, we made it to Nelson Ledges, the state park here. Basically a bunch of glacier rock formations. So the plan is we're going to try to do 3 sequences of B-roll in which we do in-camera transitions. So the first set is just going to be me walking over to, there's a waterfall here. So it's going to be me walking to the waterfall, just random stuff I see. The second set will be a B-roll segment of the waterfall, and then for the third section we'll head over to a place called Devil's Icebox, and that'll kind of be the location for the third set of B-roll. Alright, so right now we're gonna head over to the waterfall, capture some B-roll as we go, which you're about to see now. Alright guys, we made it over to the waterfall, so now we're gonna do a waterfall segment of B-roll. Again, just practicing in camera transitions, so looks pretty though, doesn't it? Alright, let's get this B-roll. Initial thoughts after trying to do some of these in-camera transitions. Instead of 3 separate sequences, there's probably just going to be 1 sequence at the end of how I did. In theory, this does not seem that hard. In practice, it's a little more difficult trying to match up the colors and stuff. So I think it'll be best just to do 1 sequence at the end that kind of shows what I learned today. And then obviously I'm gonna have to keep practicing, you know, several more times probably before I actually get it down. So, finished at the waterfall. The plan now, we're gonna head home, put all this footage together, start making this vlog, and then at the end of this vlog, after this B-roll sequence that you're about to see, I'll kind of come back and give my thoughts. And if you're new to trying to do in-camera transitions, kind of give you some of the tips and tricks I learned from this shoot, which is not many, but it might help you out if you're a beginner also like me, as there was a couple things I wish I would have did differently while I was doing this. All right, let's head back to the house and put all this together, and then like I said, I'll give you guys my final thoughts after. Alright guys, so we're back at the house and I just finished editing the in-camera transition B-roll segment that you just watched, and I wanted to give you guys a couple tips on and thoughts kind of on the process. Maybe you're new to shooting in-camera transitions. As I said earlier in the vlog, this was my absolute first time even trying to do this. So again, a couple points. The two main things that I've gathered about in-camera transitions from watching other tutorials is there's really two factors that make or break it. The first is the actual movement of the camera. And that is that, let's say you're moving from left to right in, and then when you go out, you move down. Well, then on the next frame, you want to start up and come down. So you want to keep that movement in between frames consistent. The second main thing is colors. So you want to start and end each clip, or end and start the next clip kind of on the same color palette. In theory, again, neither of these are real difficult, but when you go to practice, or at least when I went to practice, I actually found it more difficult than I thought it would be to match up the colors and at the same time worrying about the movement. Because you start to wonder, am I moving the camera fast enough? Am I moving it too fast? You know, yada, yada, yada. You know, you're trying to remember, okay, the last shot I ended it going from the static scene to the right. So now this one, I need to start at the left and come swooping in right to the scene. So you just got all that going through your head, and when you're brand new to this, even though it doesn't seem like a lot, it's a lot. So, couple tips. My first tip is focus on the movement first. Get that down. Don't even worry about matching the colors. One thing I noticed after editing this is that not every time were the colors exact, but it still worked for the most part. Again, it wasn't perfect, wasn't always, you know, every transition wasn't perfect, but for the most part it worked, just worrying about the movement. In regards to the movements, my recommendation is when you first start whipping or panning, go slower than you think you should go. You know, I was worried about speed and stuff and trying to get the right speed, but I'll say that if you go too slow, if you pan too slow out, it's fairly easy in any editing program to speed ramp that little bit of section of you panning to make it go quicker. If you go too fast, unless you record it at a higher frame rate, it's going to be much more difficult to slow that pan down. So go slower to start, and as you kind of get the feel of doing it after a couple times, I think you'll kind of find the right speed to nail it every time. When you do get to the color part of it, matching up the colors, I have a couple recommendations there. First off, the colors don't have to match exactly. They just need to kind of be of the same shade or of the same color set. And that'll typically work pretty well. Secondly, I made the mistake of actually going out to a location to try to do this, to a place where I thought the colors would be similar. But the problem was when I got there, the colors were too similar that if I ended on a certain area of color, it was hard to match that color the next time the area I was in. So I actually think it would be easier to practice someplace like your own house, where you could have plenty of objects that you could incorporate. For example, in Jesse Driftwood's video, in one of these scenes, he panned into a gray wall. So then in his next clip, he used a gray pillow that he just set where he needed to set it, and he panned out from behind that gray pillow. So he was able to match up those colors. If you're out in like a real world environment, out in nature or something, you don't have the amount of tools and colors that you do in your house in terms of different objects and stuff that you could use to help match those scenes. So once you kind of get the movements down and you move into matching the colors, I recommend starting at your house first, just because again you're gonna have more resources at your disposal in order to match those different colors and stuff up. Alright, so I definitely need to keep practicing, and I'm going to do that going forward. In fact, in tomorrow's vlog that you'll see, I'll probably do some more of it, practice it some more. But again, if you keep those two things in mind, three things really. Number one, focus on the movements first. When it comes to the movements, it's better to pan slower than it is to pan fast to start. And then when it comes to the colors, I really think you're better off practicing this at your own house to start so that you can match up the colors better. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching today's vlog. I hope it helped you out. I hope kind of seeing someone learning this process for the first time might give you insight of how to get started with it. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button below. If you're not subscribed already, please do so by hitting the red box below. And until next time, peace out everybody.